Welcome. Welcome to Who's Your Neighbor? I'm Terry McGill. I live in Portland, Oregon, and tonight's guest is in the Portland metropolitan area, soon to drift south a little bit. And our engineer is from way south. Um, and I don't know where you are, but we're all family with this internet. You can be anywhere in the world. The reason this show started was 2 years ago. You can remember back when COVID turned the world upside down, changed so much of our lives. And I noticed how people who were coping with the person they lived with, because they weren't together all day long as well as all night long, and when they were needing to stay in the same house, apartment, whatever it is, um, it became less pleasant. It was bearable before, and then it became, you had to learn a new level of forbearance. And I started thinking about who are our neighbors, who could we turn to, who could we chat with just to defuse. And and one person said, well, Terry, you've lived in the Portland area for how long? And you must know 100 different healers. Well, not quite, but um, so this show was born, birthed, whatever. And I began inviting people that I'd known, some for only a few months, one for 25 years. Um, and it's just continued. Tonight is a person I've known, I'm not sure how long, maybe 4 years or so. I just don't know for sure. Um, but she has to me, one of the most interesting jobs, and she's getting ready to kick the walls out of the box and expand what she does and how she does it. So uh, I'd like to introduce you to Michaela Lopez. Good evening. Hello
Hi,
again.
Terry. Thank you for having me today. I'm so grateful to be here.
Well, it's the more my mind gets involved with it, it's like most of the world doesn't know what it is that you do or what the term means, or maybe there's more than one term. So, what is a doula and how do you spell it?
Thank you, Terry. Good question. I get that a lot, actually. A doula, the spelling of a doula is Doula. And what a doula does is really supports the mom during their birth, supports the partner, supports the baby, but mostly supports the family in physically, to give massages, to help them with the breathing, helping her, breathing with her. You breathe in, you breathe out during those contractions. You support with, giving her essential oils, or turning on that light, or, this is during uh, labor. And there's also postpartum after labor, where we prepare meals, or we do light work around the home, or babysit that newborn, and just hold that newborn while the mom is resting and recovering from such a beautiful process of birth. It's a ceremony. I feel it's a ceremony. Birth is such a sacred ceremony, and I hold birth dear in my heart. All the mothers, all of the all the mothers of the world, even Mother Earth, we are her babies, and we got to take care of Mother Earth, take care of all the babies, all of her babies. So that's what a doula does. It's support, giving that physical support with massages, emotional support, the mental, support, and then also, spiritually as well. So that's what a doula does.
So, you're a companion on steroids. Um, well, That's the way I would have used to talk about things. Um, that's interesting. So, yeah, I'm just I'm feeling how that might feel. And one of the things that I know from my wife and I have a son, 28 now, but I can remember when he was very young, and I was a realtor, and so I was gone an awful lot of the hours, 60 hours a week, um,
Mhm.
and um, my wife realized later we really could have used a doula.
I would
And
have used a doula for my daughter too. When I had my daughter, I felt alone. I just recently moved from Los Angeles, from my parents, from all of my family, and decided to move to Portland area. And I had no support. I had no one but my husband. So it was just the two of us, and I felt that I needed that support, that doula, to help me manage the pain or do light housework or take care of that baby when I'm just tired. So doulas, they're best companions to have, especially for my husband too. Sometimes, when my husband needs, he's like, I don't know what to do. I wish I could be part of this birth. And, doulas often help the husband be involved in the birth. They become the doula as well. And I didn't, that would have been nice to have that support. My
the
husband.
husband becomes essentially learns some of those roles, support roles also.
Yes.
Yeah, because well, I'll tell you, most of us guys don't know. Um, I remember being in the hospital room when our son was born, and I saw this much of his head, and then more, and then from then on, I didn't know what to do. I was just really relieved that the nurses cleaned the black stuff off. Um, you're probably familiar with that. I don't know what it's called, but um, I read something that said that was going to be a challenge. Didn't
Yes.
happen.
A lot of babies do come with that vermix. It's a coating to protect the baby. It's a yellow substance that stays in the baby, and it's good and it's healthy. It's good for the baby. So yeah.
Why? And and so, how long have you been a doula?
I've been a doula for about 2 to 3 years,
Uh huh.
and I love being a support, and I love the whole birth. Birth is so, it's like almost, it's empowering for women. You can see women being empowered when they give births, whether it's cesarean, whether it's vaginal delivery, whether those are two ways, right? But it's a beautiful a dance. It's a beautiful ceremony, and it's very empowering. And I love the work. I love being a birth worker.
So, you mentioned the other day that you're going to expand what you're doing. Would you tell us about that?
Yes. So I'm very excited to expand, and I want to go more deeper. I want to be able to deliver these babies. I want to be able to check the mom's womb. So I'm moving into a training into becoming a midwife, and it's a calling. I could just feel it in my heart. One day I traveled to Hawaii, and I received a message while coming back. And at that time, I was, being a doula was new to me. I had done my training, and I had, helped a lot of moms with their deliveries. But I also heard that I needed to pursue to becoming a midwife. That being a doula is the first step. It's the introduction to what I'm about to embark as a midwife. And I felt truth. I felt it resonated so much with me, um, and things started aligning for me. The I have this amazing mentor who's been a midwife for the last 40 years. 40 years of being a midwife,
Wow.
and I am just so excited that she came into my life, and now she's going to be my mentor, my teacher, who's going to share her wisdom, her practices, And we already have some scheduled births together and for the months of September. So I'm very, very excited to start this journey to learn the art of birth, of delivering, and how to really help moms and heal. It's also healing that trauma, or healing that negative messages that us women have been receiving from our mothers, our grandmothers. Because I remember when I had my daughter, my mom would always tell me her stories of how she had, all five of us. There's five of us, five children of hers, and she always shared her story of how traumatic it was, how painful it was. It was unbearable. And, I held on to those stories. Her stories became my stories. But now I want to teach women that those are not her stories. All births are different. My mother's stories with our birth, with my brothers and myself, is not my story. So I want to teach women, empower women, that you can create your own births. You want a healthy birth, you can create your healthy birth. You want an easy birth, you start talking to your body, you start talking to your baby, and the magic happens. It's just that connection, that heart and love connection with the body, love and heart connection with that baby, even before conception, like getting your body prepared. So I'm just so excited to for this new journey of becoming a midwife. Thank
So
you.
you said that you're going to, like next month. It's already the 16th of August. In 2 weeks or more, you're already going to start um, co-training with a very experienced, it sounds like, midwife.
Yes, that is correct. Actually, I already started. I started back in May. So I've been driving out to where she lives. It's a 2 hour away from where I live. And she already started training me, as her assistant, and how I can help her as a midwife, how I can assist her as a midwife, and also assist the mom on how to create that sacred space for the mom, how I can be of service for that mom. So we started already doing that whole hands-on experience. I'm very, very happy.
So one of the things that I'm curious about, um, I was a cesarean. My brother was born in a hospital. My son was born in a hospital. How many um, births will you expect you'll be doing in a hospital versus somewhere else?
That's I'm not sure, to be honest. It varies. All of the births that I've had as a doula have been in the hospitals, and now that I'm working with this friend, this mentor, it seems to be at home births. So a lot of the births that she does is home births. She does water births, she does births at home, and she's a traditional midwife, so she does a lot of the deliveries at home, at people's homes. So she goes to people's home. But I'm open to going to the hospitals. I'm open to home births, or home centers, where they have, a center for, it doesn't have to be a hospital. These centers are meant for to be cozy, warm, almost home like um, experience for these mothers. So it varies. And I am just open to helping these women.
Whatever comes along, huh?
Yes, yes.
So, what when you mentioned water birth, um, I remember watching really tiny babies swimming in a swimming pool. But what is a they don't do it? They don't have a water birth in a swimming pool, do you?
No, because see, those have chlorine. You don't want that. But we prepare beforehand. There is a whole procedure. It's just having a tub at home, just a small little tub. You prepare it. You put plastic coverings over it, and you just get.
Put over it?
Say that again.
Put what over it?
Oh, plastic coverings. So that way
Over the
you're not
tub.
making a mess. It's a long preparation. You put lots of plastics on the ground, and you put, plastics in the tub. It could be in the bathtub, or it could be just a small kid's swimming pool. and just fill it up with water, and then water is supposed to calm the nerves, calm the mom. It's soothing. When the moms are calm, that's when they're able to deliver easier and
That
much
makes
faster.
sense. Makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense to me.
Yes, it does.
So I'm just fascinated by this. Um, I mean, this is foreign to me. Um, I've read very little about it. I've heard a few stories, but um, boy. So thank you for sharing this. Um, I also heard a rumor that you and your coach partner, whatever the term would be, maybe all of that, are also going to co-teach workshops.
That it's right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. We are going to partner up together and we'll be leading classes on self healing, sometimes we carry trauma. A lot of women, men also, we carry trauma and we want to create a place where women can process their trauma, go into their trauma and really go deep. And so my role and my coach, my mentor, my teacher, and I will be creating this space where they can be, to hold them. We want to create this space where they can share their vulnerability, where they can have this space so they can heal. So I'm very excited to have this person, this mentor of mine with me, to because it takes more than one person, really, because it can be work sometimes. Trauma is not easy. Healing trauma is not easy, and so that's going to be our main focus: healing trauma. Because a lot of us women, we hold trauma, childhood trauma, childhood wounds, and even birth can be traumatic. When you're in the mother's womb, when you're coming, that passage to Mother Earth, it's also can be traumatizing too. So what we're going to do is create workshops where women can be empowered and be healed in their traumas, whether it's sexual trauma, it could be any type of trauma that they're holding on. So yes, I'm very excited to lead workshops with her on trauma and self healing. Just really go deep within and do healing within ourselves. Yeah.
I'm just started reading a book um, by a director of research of I think she may be up at the Oregon Health Sciences Union Hospital. I'm not sure. Anyway, the book is called The Science of Channeling, and it's like there's a science to this. Um, and one of the things that she was sharing was what you just shared, and that is how much we carry. And I would also note, and I know you know it, but your focus is on women. Mine's on me a lot. Um, when I'm doing workshops, most of the participants are women. And I know that there's times when they will not share things. I have, that's what the word noetic means. And Institute of Noetic Sciences is just this is knowing. Uh, and I know not to push um, because they'd share if they had the level of trust. They may not be able to ever share it with a man, and I'm okay with that. Um, the fact that you're offering, you and your coach partner, whatever, our mentor, are going to be offering these for women is so important because in our society, in fact, around the world, uh, less probably in the Western world, but the mothers nurture the children um, or don't, and if they've got trauma blocking them, well, I can just see the benefit of your workshop for the children.
Yes. There's yeah, this is one of our first things that we want to do is healing trauma. It'll be an ongoing series, and it'll be an ongoing workshop. But we also want to include children, healing that relationship with their children. We want to raise, smart kids. And I would love, one of our goals is to really work with children too, and bring, that mindfulness, that connection with their bodies, and being able to express themselves. Mom, I want this. Mom, I feel this way, or I feel this way because, you know, to being able to communicate. So one of our goals is to have a mindfulness group for, and bringing children and singing with children, because I think that's needed a lot for us. Grown-ups, we forget to be children. We forget that we have that child within us that wants to play too. And as adults have grown up so fast, we have responsibilities, and we're always doing things, and kids are always having fun, and they're so much alive and connected, and they have so much joy. And us adults, we need to go back to, with these kids and have fun. So our one of my mind goal is to really have a children, like a mindfulness meditation with children, chanting and dancing, playing drums with the kids. So I hope that to do that too. So this is something that I, soon, hopefully soon. Yeah.
This is so exciting. I'm really happy for you, and I'm happy for all that you and your mentor partner are going to be affecting. Um, wow. So you're going to be moving out of the Portland metro area um, into another community down the highway. Um, what was the rest of that thought? um, well, the good thing about the internet is, well, you're one click away. Um, so I would like to extend to you and your mentor partner um, an invitation in 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road to maybe come on again as a team and just share what this has evolved into, what you're doing, so that people can have an awareness. There are people who watch, because this is recorded, it'll be transferred onto YouTube video. It's on Facebook Live right now. We've got, I can't tell how many viewers. The screens, I guess I think we've only got 3 now. But what I noticed when I first started these episodes was there would only be 3 or 4 or 5. And I looked back at the same recording 10 days later, and there'd been 130 views. And it was like, what? And I thought that was a mistake until I noticed the consistency of it. The other thing that you'll be able to do is to hand out that or email the YouTube recording so that people can get a sense of who you are as a person. That's one of the prime goals that I've had from the beginning, well, almost, of who's your neighbor. Because you know the old saying, people don't care what you know until they know how much you care.
Mm.
What I notice is when I'm having these chats with people who are doing remarkable things in whatever community they're in, because we're spread way beyond Portland. Um, it's who the essence of who the person is comes across, and I'm just excited for what you're doing, what you're going to be doing, and yeah.
Thank
Any,
you, Terry. Thank
any,
you.
is there anything you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah. I feel that, we know families, we know a lot of people who have, or have babies, or, if you know a mom, or, a family who want to conceive, or have struggles having a child, or need support, I'd be happy to help in those areas. I have these tools. I have the practice of helping, with the area of births. I There's something in me that I feel that it's, I don't know, I feel like it's my ancestors, or in my, I don't know, I feel that there's a connection with births, with my guides. I have these guides, powerful guides that help me, um, with with the wisdom. I feel like it just comes through me naturally,
So
and I,
these are not physical people around you. They're a soul connection.
that's correct. There's soul connection. I can hear them sometimes. I can feel them. I can feel their presence when with me, especially in the delivery room. I can feel this sense of, big presence around me, and I feel that they're always supporting me. And I'm so grateful to have this support because I'm not alone. I feel like I am not alone when I'm supporting these families. I feel there's a whole beautiful beings around me, and then, I could just feel their connection. And, having these support, these connection helps me too, and I feel grounded, and I feel that I can, support, give the best support that I can to these families, whether it's, trying to conceive, or having a challenging births, or, how do I get my partner to be involved in these births. So if you know anybody out there, I'd be happy to serve and support them in any way. I also have, free consultations, a 15 minute consultation for those who want to hear more. If you want to have a private chat, I'd be happy to share more. Thank you,
So
Terry.
let me just stress that if you're listening now live or in the future, if you would like a 15-minute gift, free consultation, then call or email Michaela and set that up. Um, It'd be a wonderful service that you could receive. And yeah,
Thank you,
so
Terry.
well, one other thing. I know that you have Tao Healing Hands transmission, which is because I've had mine for uh, 10 years or 12 years now. Um, how does that fit into being a doula and stepping into this larger role?
Thank you for asking. I use my Jiao hands actually for births. So, sometimes women do. I do introduce Jiao healing hands to my clients beforehand during prenatal visits before the delivery. So I share with them what it is, and then if they need it, if there's an emergency, or they feel like, okay, I need it, I really want this as part of my, part of the package that they receive is Jiao healing hands. And, when there's a time of struggle, or when they're feeling that excruciating pain, or when the baby's not coming, and they're just, nothing's working, and, they try, birthing balls, they try water, going in the bathtub, and sometimes nothing is working, and just turning on my Tao healing hands. And I remind them, so I offer Tao healing hands, would you like to receive one? And some of them say yes, I do, or some of them say no, and that's okay. And those that receive it, I could just feel my hand, this light just coming through my hand and supporting them, like this beautiful light just comes to them. And there was an one, for example, one of the births where this mom, she tried everything. She tried what being in the bathtub, um, birth balls. She tried, I did massage on her. Not, she was not dilating. Her cervix was, it was not opening. And then after offering her Tao healing hands, 30 minutes later, she started from a 2 centimeters of her cervix, and then to a 9, and like, okay, 10, now baby's coming after, 30 minutes of, giving her Tao hands, boom, baby just came. And
Hours and hours of nothing, and then 30 minutes go whoop.
yes, that's yes. So I love my Tao hands, and I know they really work, and it really helps a lot of families. And then also, Tao healing hands can serve for trauma, healing trauma. It's, wow, I love my Dow hands because it really does do the healing, the blessing of, healing that trauma, that negative information that our bodies hold on to, our minds hold on to, and it releases that negative information and it fills it with love, with light, with positive information. So I use my Tao healing hands for that, for myself too, and I started to use it more with my clients. So I love
You
my
know,
Tao hands.
the thought just came to me. Um, I can just feel you saying yes, yeah, but I won't hold you to it. Um, we could together offer Tao Healing Hands blessing. I'm hearing anxiety, um, but if you'd be willing, let's offer a one-time, a short blessing, like maybe 3 minutes, because the two of us together really multiplies it. It's like not 1 + 1 = 2. Uh, would you like to do that with me?
Yes, 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 Terry. Yes, I would love to.
Okay, so for everybody that's watching right now, whenever now is, the interesting thing is there's no time or space. I was listening to a Tao Healing Hands trainer the other day, and he said that a healer, a Tao Hands healer, came onto a webcast. I'm trying to remember this. This was years ago, like a dozen years ago. And he said, "This is being recorded." And he named a month, and it was like 6 months later that this was happening. He says, the person that's leading the workshop that you're in is going to pause my recording and give you some orientation, and then they're going to turn this recording back on. I am going to send you a remote, now get this, across time, 4, 5, 6 months. Um, I'm going to send you a Tao Healing Hands blessing for those of you who would like. And I went, really? I'd never heard of across time before. I know they work across a distance. I had an experience with a client when I didn't know this could really work across distance. It was in Australia, and they were calling me. And I called them back the next day. How are you doing? Oh, this was incredible. I felt it immediately. I'm going, who am I talking to? Is this real? Um, and then, like 2 weeks later, I was talking with someone in France. And this was before we had much internet. And so it was by the telephone again, long distance, expensive, but they were paying for it. Anyway, same experience. They had, and there wasn't even a day gap. It's just they began telling me before I had even thought I'd completed offering the healing. And for the watcher and the listener, what I want to note is that Michaela and I don't do the healing. We're the channel. We connect with the source, creator, whatever term that you might use for, somebody said the other day, I love the word, the ineffable. Like, I got to look that one up. That which we can't comprehend. But it's been working for me and my clients and students for 12 years now. So for those of you that are watching or listening, whenever it is, we will offer you a one-time only, because there's energy involved and we don't want to be drained down the road, because part of it's our energy. Even though it's coming through us, we're involved. So one-time blessing for any emotion that you would like a blessing for. So think about, how are you feeling right now, and look for something, or think throughout the earlier part of the day or yesterday, depending on where you are and what time it is. What was going on in your life that really triggered something in you? Now, when I say triggered, it doesn't mean you flipped out. It just means, oh man, there goes that again. For me, it used to be driving down the highway, or the a 4-lane thoroughfare around Portland here, and somebody would boom, just zip right across in front of me, and it's like, I used to say things that I won't repeat on the air, and then about 14 years ago, that happened to me. And I heard myself saying, wow, I really hope you get where you're going safely. And then I went, whoa, something changed in me. So, whatever you're feeling, or whatever you have felt, or whatever you know is something that's maybe fairly commonplace for you. Anxiety has been a big one for me all of my life. It might be grief. We're going to have a guest on here next week, and the focus next episode is going to be on grief and how you live through it, and so that you don't drag a bag of grief around for the rest of your life, hopefully. So whatever yours is, could be fear, could be worry, whatever it is, anger. So I invite you now to just close your eyes, and you might use your body and just place one hand on the center of your chest, the heart chakra. That's in the middle of your body. So and close your eyes, and then imagine that, because there's a sphere of energy, life force, right in the center of your body. That's the core of you. That's my belief. You don't have to take it, but connect with who you are, and then we'll give you, and I'll time it. I'll look down here at my clock, and we'll do a 3-minute Tao Healing Hands blessing. Now, here's the thing: we can't send you one unless you want it. So you have to say, "Dear Heaven, or God, or Yahweh, or Mother Mary, whatever your belief system is, or just the collective good that's bigger than any of us, whatever your term and feeling is, just ask to receive what's appropriate for you. Nothing will come through that's inappropriate. I've learned that over the years. I used to worry about it. Okay? So I'll tell you, Michaela and I will do our silent invocation, and then I'll say blessing begins, and then in about 3 minutes, I'll say blessing ends. And so during that time, I invite you to just be aware without trying to look and see what's happening, because I'm not going to do anything. Or what is, my body twitching? Am I getting hotter or colder? Just allow it to come. Okay? So Michaela, let's turn on these treasures. So one-time blessing for an unbalanced emotion, as appropriate. Blessing begins. So if I had some background music that was quiet, I'd play it, but this was spontaneous, so I'm not prepared. So there would just be silence, except when I speak every once in a while. Sometimes 3 minutes seems like an hour, and other times it seems like 10 seconds. I just noticed the big yawn, and for me, I experience in different ways what someone receiving the blessing is experiencing. And that yawn relates to just a deep relaxation, perhaps unconscious and unfelt. So if you want to drop your hand from the center of your chest, go ahead. Just be comfortable. If you can, please keep your eyes closed. So 3 minutes has gone by quicker than I thought. I looked at the clock and it says, oh, already. So the blessing ends, and Michaela and I will thank this gift that we have, these Tao healing hands, and ask it to rest. I just had an image of like putting a rolling pin back in the drawer. First time for that one. So we're really at the end of everything, and then some. It was intended for the evening. And Michaela, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to have you a guest, and I'm looking forward to you and your mentor partner somewhere down the road. And
Thank
I
you.
also want to note, as we say aloha to Michaela, I mentioned the Tao healing hands, and so we'll put a link over in the chat room where you can find out more about that program. I love the fact that it's in 3 parts. A lot of people are not interested in becoming a professional healer, whatever that means. They want to heal whatever their personal issues are. And so our engineer has just posted that link, 5 levels of creation, on the screen here, and also over in the chat room. And everybody that's watching in the future can also check on it, click on it. And level 1 of Tao Healing Hands training is to become a healer of yourself, your physical issues, mental issues, emotional issues. And you can give yourself, this is what's neat. Once you start working with other people, level 2 and 3, you can only give them like 3-4 blessings a day maximum, but you can give yourself as many as feels right. So, and I know sometimes I went through periods in my life of serious pain because of back condition that I've had since I was 10 years old. And yeah, a lot of blessings on some of those days. So level 2 allows you to offer the same kinds of healings to other people with their permission, unless they're family. If they're family, you don't have to tell them. I know somebody says, my husband's not going to participate, not even going to say yes. Well, don't have to. Just check in and see if that's appropriate for him. And you learn how to do that in the training. It's more than just guessing. I love the science of this. And then level 3 is like it's a whole enchilada. One of the abilities that everybody receives is the ability to offer a home or an office blessing. Tao Healing Hands home blessing, Tao Healing Hands office blessing. Maybe because I was a realtor for 22 years, but people tell me that they're just almost stunned at times at the change in their home. Like they've had a cat that watched a spot on the wall, sometimes for, a long time, almost every day. And then after the home blessing, that behavior was gone. Many other stories, too many, because I want to say thank you for watching and listening. And, if you like the show, wonderful. This is who's your neighbor, and they don't have to be, because we're a worldwide family anymore, partly because of COVID. I mean, look how the company Zoom, with this is a different platform than Zoom, but Zoom could not handle those of us who jumped onto it when we couldn't meet face to face anymore. Um, and they struggled for that first year because they had more business than they could really take care of. So we've become a worldwide community. And besides a telephone, which has no visuals, now we can see our friend's face or see a client's face or a student. So anyway, who's your neighbor? Look around. Watch some of these other videos. They're fascinating. At least they are to me, and I've heard other people say the same. So check it out. See if they fascinate you. And if you have anybody that's dealing with grief, or if you are aware that there may be some that hasn't been completely healed in yourself, then I invite you back next week, every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's Portland, Oregon time. Although the people in British Columbia and San Francisco claim it's San Francisco time, it's Pacific time. And until then, thank you for showing up. I'll see you next time.